Welcome back everyone to Expert Emerald. It's time for us to do hero stuff.
Oh boy.
But before that, Pokemons.
Let's catch a cat.
Yeah, Meowth is just a cat with a coin on its head. So this Meowth here, I've decided to name it Mittens. I like to go for cheesy cat names. Here we have Bacon, or Porky the Spoink.
Spoink is depressing as hell.
Yeah. For this episode, I decided not to write down the names of the Pokemon. I'm just trying to remember them because they are all my babies and I love them. So, Skitty here is named Whiskers. I definitely remember Whiskers. Then you have Skipper the Surskit. A really useless Pokemon. Like, whether or not it's evolved, it's just kind of bland and terrible. And, here you have Nincada, who I called Hayabusa.
I love Nincada, he's great.
You mentioned, you kind of alluded to Nincada in the previous episode.
Yes.
It'll be a while until he evolves, but when he does, people will know why he's such a cool Pokemon.
He was actually my very first shiny.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I must ask a question then, because I generally don't know. When it, not to spoil, evolves into its two split evolutions, are both of them shiny?
I honestly don't remember. I think that the one of them is, but the other isn't.
Oh man, just for anyone who doesn't know, like, shiny Pokemon are like 1 in a million chance of finding them rare Pokemon.
It used to be a flat, 1 in 8,000 something. And then they just decided to just have some stupid, algorithm that determines the odds of you getting a shiny and whatever.
It's a lot more exploitable, but yeah, it's basically you've got a very, very low chance of having an alternate colour Pokemon, and they're highly valued. But yeah, wow, having a shiny Nincada, that's pretty radical. I always get really rubbish shinies, like Bidoof or Zigzagoon, like just pretty bland Pokemon that no one's ever going to use.
Yeah, but it's shiny.
I know. The Stunfisk is the one that really got me. When I got a shiny Stunfisk, I kind of gave up on life. Like, not a Charizard or anything cool.
Actually, I shouldn't say it was the first shiny I got, because everybody's first shiny was the red Gyarados.
Oh, well, not counting that. That's part of the game. Anyways, let's head into this cave, which is full of babies in this ROM hack. All the baby Pokemon are kind of crammed in here. So,
Wow. That's rude. Why would you stick babies in a cave?
It's a cave of babies. And what's quite interesting though is like baby Pokemon as a concept. Like from Generation 2 they wanted to introduce, they introduced a breeding mechanic where you can breed a mummy and a daddy Pokemon, and when they love each other very much, eggs happen. But yeah, a lot of Pokemon have baby forms that are just kind of terrible, and their real gimmick is that they have a couple of odd moves that are helpful to teach to their later generations, but yeah, for the most part, all of these Pokemon are kind of naff. Oh, just for names by the by, we had 9volt the Elekid, Pippi the Pichu, Tough Buff Puff the Igglybuff, something like that, Cole the Magby, and here we have Cleffa, who I decided to name Twinkle. I think that's a cute name. Booyah! I think I remembered all their names. I got them. I did it.
Good job.
If in doubt, check the description.
You're a good Poke Dad.
It's gonna be progressively harder and harder as we meet more Pokemon. I can tell you that for a fact. In fact, I'm never gonna use those babies because, like, you can catch their evolved forms anyway. So
you can catch their base forms, yeah.
I'm just going to do that. It's far less stressful. Because this ROM hack, for some strange reason, removes the happiness mechanic.
What?
So any Pokemon that can evolve from happiness, i.e. most babies, will not evolve.
That's really bad. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Just makes things a pain. But on the bright side, here's Cyndaquil, the Generation 2 Fire Starter. I decided to name her Cindy, because how can you not? Very cute name for a Pokemon that kind of stops being cute after it evolves, but yeah.
I don't know. Its first evolution is still kind of cute.
And then I don't know. I don't know if you'd call its final form a Cindy.
Nah. Well, I mean, name's not everything, man.
Oh, exactly. What is in a name? What is in a Pokemon nickname? So,
What?
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This guy comes at you with a Dratini, which would have been really bad if not for all the power leveling I did in this cave. Because
Wow.
here is something terrifying about this ROM hack, something that's really genuinely annoying about it. Some Pokemon have a 1% chance of appearing.
Oh.
So you have to just trowel for ages to get them, and I did that, grinding a lot as I did.
They had that in Gen 2 as well.
Yeah, it sucks.
But that actually, I mean, you could have people call you and it's like, hey, this 1% chance Pokemon is crawling all over the fucking place. Go get it.
Yeah, you could do that, but I'm not going to wait for those encounters when I could just run around for hours and catch the thing myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, Psyche the Abra evolving into Kadabra there, becoming a significantly better Pokemon. Some would go so far as to say kind of overpowered, especially when it fully evolves.
Oh yeah, the final evolution is one of the most OP Pokemon in ever.
Yeah, in the whole series, like it was introduced in the first gen, and I don't think there's been a single generation where it wasn't incredibly powerful and like competitively viable. Like it's always been decent.
Yeah, there's some argument that Starmie is better.
Okay.
Because they're faster.
Okay, that's fair. But better doesn't completely.
But it's comparable. It just depends on the moveset you want and where they fit into your team.
I would contest that any Pokemon that doesn't just have garbage stats is usable given the right support and the right teammates.
Yeah, there's some definite like gimmick builds, like gimmick teams. Like
yeah.
I remember back when Gen 4 was the most recent one, people would just throw down spikes and then throw in and switch to Skarmory and just immediately roll in their entire team.
So the entire team gets completely nailed by spikes and killed that way.
Yep.
I've had people do that and it's really annoyed me, but I will contest it's a very clever strategy. It does work. But, yeah, I always lead with the Galvantula in newer games, so I like to paralyze and slow down the opposing team, and then bring in a bunch of, beefy Pokemon to finish the job. Never leaves me astray. Anyways, the game at the moment is introducing us to the President, Mr. Stone. In Pokemon games, I had this weird thing where anytime I met a character who was referred to as a President, although it's implied that they're a president of a company, I always assumed they're the actual presidents. And I thought I was, after beating my first gym and saving some guy from some thug, that I was meeting up with the president.
Wow.
Yeah. President Pokemon. Back then it would have been an honor, and today, given today's climate, that wouldn't be so good of an encounter. Hashtag Trump.
Well, my Pokemon have the highest IVs. The highest.
Oh, God. Oh, Trump would be the worst addition to any Pokemon game. Or any existence. Anyways, he gives us the Pokénav, which allows us to recall and rebattle trainers that we've already beaten before. Which is a very, very helpful feature, because any Pokemon game that allows you to rematch is a good one. It's one of my favourite features in any Pokemon. I kind of get annoyed when games don't do that, because it feels like an essential at this point. But yeah, after several hours of in-game time, you can go back and rebattle pretty much anybody.
Yep.
Oh, and here's the game making me demonstrate.
It was a lot less robust in the in second gen, where you could only have certain people, and even then, you only had a limited number of numbers that you could have.
Second gen was kind of infamous as well, because sometimes you'd just be trying to play the game, or you'd be going through a really tense moment, and an NPC would just give you a phone call and just throw off everything, and it was always annoying.
Fucking youngster Joey talking about his Rattata.
Yeah, and the only other Pokemon game outside of Heart Gold and Soul Silver that does that is Emerald, is this game, so prepare for phone calls later on. A lot of phone calls. Anyways, here's an optional battle, completely optional battle with your rival, Brendan, or if you're playing as a male, May. And yeah, given that this ROM hack makes everything harder, I was a little apprehensive about this because I didn't know what the game was going to pull out. Really wasn't expecting this.
This is going to be great. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's go with that. Well, surprisingly...
that's only 2 Pokemon.
Yeah, just a Skitty, which really isn't all that. And Mudkip, which, given that I have a bunch of grass types now, goes down kind of easy. Unexpectedly easy on that one, actually. So, there's a pleasant surprise.
There was an option. I don't know if there was one in Gen 2, but in Gen 1 you had an optional rival encounter at the start of the game. I don't know if there's one in Gen 2, though.
Yeah, that was... I never really count that one because it's so early, but yeah. Then again, Gen 1 was so busted you could play that game in pretty much any order. And, like, sequence break it. And end up with encounters that really don't make any sense.
That's fair.
Like, for me, it was meeting Giovanni and, you know, taking down all of Team Rocket. And then going back to his, like, you know...
Oh, the Game Corner.
Game Corner base and, you know, beating all of his low-level scrub tier Pokemon, which, yeah, it really didn't make sense when you thought about it.
Flags in that game were more a suggestion.
Yeah. There are, like, playthroughs of the original games where people don't catch anything and don't earn any badges. They just kind of walk to the end of the game. But, here we have Mr. Briny chasing Pika. We've done a little bit of backtracking, a little bit of fade effect there.
It's fancy.
It's weird because not a lot of Pokemon games actually introduced backtracking as a mechanic, but this one does quite frequently.
I think that's the one thing I do not like about this game, is you gotta retread a lot of ground.
Yeah, as soon as you get HM Fly, that allows you to fly to any city you've previously visited, things get a lot easier, but yeah. Oh, by the way, I love this moment. You know, stop the boat, my dad's calling me. Stop the boat right now, I need to talk to Dad.
Or alternately, the phone takes you into a separate dimension where you are unaffected by the flow of time.
Okay, I need to use my stand to freeze time, so that I can talk to my dad. And with that, we can continue our boat ride. Thank you very much. I tell you, the reception we get out here. By the way, I love that Totodile sprite. It's so goofy.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's wonderful.
It's the way it's got its mouth open. It's like, yeah, I'm a Totodile. So here is Totodile, the last of the Gen 2 starters, the water one, of course.
The best one.
I kind of love Totodile and its evolutionary line. Here's me using a Great Ball because stars are really hard to catch. They've got a really hard...
Yeah, they have an insane catch rate. You would think they wouldn't because, you know, they're starter Pokemon, but...
Well, it makes sense, really, because you're not supposed to be catching them. They're generally designed to be given to you, so... This whole part of the video is just me being very immature and just going with a really extensive immature joke. I really could have cut this video's length down quite a bit, but I didn't.
Oh boy, are we playing Mad Libs?
Oh, we're playing some Mad Libs. So, what's in right now? What's cool and down with the kids? What's all hip and groovy nowadays? Well, I can tell you for a fact that it is adults.
Oh.
If I just find it. Here we go. Somewhere around in the M section. Somewhere around here. There we go.
Oh no.
There we go. Now, let's just, you know, let's not beat around the bush. Let's replace this with porn. So, isn't porn the coolest or what?
Oh no. That's bad. Why are you doing this?
Porn, that's what's happening and cool, yo. What's in vogue? It has to be porn. Can't imagine what life would be without porn. I'm studying up on the hip and trendy porn now. There's a deep link between porn and shopping. Sure, why not? One step closer to being hip and happening. Yeah, yowza.
Yowza. That's a good word. Yowza's a good word.
Oh no! Oh no! Don't teach your Pokemon about porn.
It is a bit... She is right, though. It's a bit too much.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, no.
Is porn even more popular across the sea? This whole business about porn. Is there a TV show on it? There's quite a few if you pay the right providers. I saw porn. Cool, huh? It's like the coolest thing going. It was the real thing!
Let's run this shit into the ground.
Oh no, that alleged porn you claim to have seen? It's not. The authentic article is much more, how should I say, sharper, yet more... This is my favourite one! This kid is my favourite one! I collect porn licensed merchandise, porn dolls, porn brand clothing, and picture books.
Now I'm just imagining like a literal pop-up book.
This town is full of perverts, and I want to go home.
This is no place for you, May.
I'm gonna beat this gym leader and be on my way. Oh god, I'm a child. Anyways.
Oh, we're gonna fight Broly?
Yeah, let's take down the fighting gym leader.
Is his power maximum?
I've never even made that connection before, Broly.
I don't even know if that's like a direct reference or not, but...
Kinda hope it is.
I don't think it probably isn't, but I want it to be.
I want a legendary Super Saiyan gym leader. That would be the raddest. Anyways,
Oh yeah, I hated this gym. For this reason.
The gimmick in this place is, you know, if you beat the trainers, it gets more illuminated. If, you know, I'd done a little bit of planning beforehand and simply mapped out, you know, where to go, you can actually walk straight to him without fighting anybody, so I have edited out the battles because that's my own mistake and that's not yours to deal with.
Oh yeah!
But on the bright side...
Can't wait to get a mediocre Pokemon.
Yeah!
At least it looks cool.
Mediocre until Gen 6, where it can Mega Evolve, but for now, yes, very mediocre.
Oh yeah, I forgot it gets a Mega Evolution. That's a random one to get one, but whatever.
It's really good, is the thing. Like, I've seen some people wreck some faces with Mega Beedrill. Pretty decent Pokemon.
Yeah, too bad it's, like, absolutely garbage otherwise.
Yeah. If you see someone with a Beedrill, you know that they are going to use the Mega form.
You had to go and, restock?
Yeah. Oh, by the by, also you. That's the fun thing about bugs. They're just gonna keep evolving for these first few videos. Just a lot of bug evolutions. In fact, this ROM hack actually changed a lot of the early game Pokemon and when they evolve to make them, you know, make you have to raise them a bit more before they do evolve. Not sure why. I guess they just wanted to balance the game out a bit more that way, but yeah, with all the grinding I do, and with all the ridiculous amounts of experience you get by fighting all the trainers, I will eventually level up and obtain everything.
I was so sad when Ash gave up his Butterfree.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the first soul-crushing moments in my childhood.
And it was kind of implied that Butterfree was going to die because mating.
Oh, don't say that! No! God. Oh, that's upsetting.
That's kind of what bugs do.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon though. I mean, do bugs generally lay giant eggs? You know, I feel they're a bit biologically different to proper, normal, real-life bugs. Anyways, moving away from Pokemon theory, here's our gym leader! In this ROM hack, he is rocking 4 fighting-type Pokemon, and a small part of me didn't think I was actually going to win this, because even though I am rocking a whole bunch of, like, you know, flying and psychic types, fighting types hit hard if you're not fully resisting them. And I had a funny feeling that this ROM hacker would, you know, give him a couple of interesting alternate moves to keep me on my toes, so... This is one of those battles that could go either way. I have no shame in showing a battle that I lose, only to cut to the victory afterwards, so... There is that much to keep you on your toes.
So... Why are we fighting a sentient psychic piece of garlic?
I've never made that visual correlation with Meditite before, but that is what Meditite is, yes.
Or like, it's got soft serve ice cream on its head.
And when it evolves, it gets boobs on its legs. Or just boobs for legs. And once you see them, you can't unsee them.
It's wonderful.
I'll be pointing that out when I acquire that Pokemon. Anyways, here's Mankey. Didn't quite expect that because, you know, it's a Generation 1 Pokemon. You generally wouldn't see this in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but thankfully it's got really, really, really crappy defense, so it doesn't take long to go down. Or at least it wouldn't if not for all the healing.
Oh.
Because, you know...
Wow. Rude.
Yeah, this ROM hack.
Rude.
Loves its healing. Very rude. Not cool.
And it has more speed now. But it doesn't look like it matters, but still.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No. This is bad.
Kadabra's a very quick Pokemon. It's fine. It's actually better. This situation is actually better for me. If I can keep lowering, getting them to low health in one attack, then Brawly's going to waste all of the items that he has.
Oh yeah, he has a limited amount, I'm sure.
Yeah, he can't use them infinitely, thankfully. There's only so many that the game will allow enemies to have.
Whew!
Which is great for me. Really good.
Those crits, though.
Anyways, that did hurt quite a bit, but there goes Mankey.
This guy looks like he's going to give you a run for your money.
Now this is... I'm going to give the game props. I know it's controlled by an AI, but I did not expect this, so I thought, you know, Tyrogue's got terrible stats. Didn't expect it to fake me out, but that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, it's also got a priority move as well.
Oh, whoops.
So that thing really is designed to kind of jump out at you and completely take you off guard, and I will give it props, it did exactly that. Anyways, here is Hooters, who in this ROM hack, instead of being a normal and flying type, like who is in the actual games, for some reason the ROM hacker has changed it to a psychic and flying type, which...
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it gets stab bonus. I was gonna say, why aren't you using Peck?
Yeah, it does get stab bonus, and you know what? Generally, I think that's actually a better typing for Hoot. Like, it's one of those things where, yeah, I can see where the ROM hacker's coming from there. In fact, quite a few Pokemon types have been changed, but I'll point them out as we get to them.
It's an interesting typing.
Yeah. Anyways, last Pokemon is Makuhita. So, this is Brawly's actual signature Pokemon. It hits hard.
Yeah.
It's got some very hefty moves. But that said, I do have a full team of counters, so fingers crossed, all should go well. And when in doubt, Sleep Powder!
Use the most overpowered status in the game.
You know what, why not? If I was against a person, I'd be more apprehensive, I'd feel kind of cheap. But this is a computer I'm fighting against in a hard mode ROM hack. And, you know, they're not afraid to spam items, so let's go all out. Let's just really show this Makuhita the business. Show it what's for. Get my glide on. Oh jeez, those Razor Leafs aren't doing as much as I thought they would be. Oh jeez. So, a few more hits and Makuhita will be down. What are your thoughts on, like, Brawly as a gym leader? Or just the gym leaders in general in this generation of games?
I think that... I don't know, it's been a long time since I've played, but I seem to remember the gym leaders being a little bit better balanced than in Gen 1 and Gen 2.
I can definitely see where you're coming from. Later gym leaders in this game, they really do provide a challenge. They kind of, I won't say that they gatekeep, you know, less competent players, but they do sometimes require you to really stop and think about what you're doing, how you're playing, and, you know, how you can improve your team.
There's one gym leader in particular that really kind of brings that home.
I know the one you're talking about, and I'm sure you can imagine how hard they are in this ROM hack. So...
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that. That's probably terrible.
Probably. I may have beaten them recently, but yeah, Jesus, it wasn't fun. Anyways, there goes Brawly. That Makuhita took more of a beating than I thought it would. But with that, we have our second badge. Funny thing about Brawly, he is completely skippable in the in either this ROM hack or the base game. because all he really gives you the ability to do is use the move Flash, which in this generation you really don't need, like, at all.
Well, and he also gives you the badge that you need.
You only need that badge, like, to get into the Pokemon League. So you can beat every gym leader but Brawly, and then you can...
Oh yeah, and then come back and kick his ass.
Casually come back with your level 60s and defeat all of his Pokemon in one hit. Anyways, see you soon, guys.
Bye.